continue to do that work.
In regards to the Kiewit contract, with respect to the contract that was awarded to them, my understanding is that one of the stipulations of the contract was that qualified local Indigenous workers were to be hired when available. I've heard from a local company who were set to be hired by Kiewit, but they were canceled at the very last minute. What enforcement mechanisms does the department have to ensure that qualified local Indigenous workers are hired? And also, in what ways have the work and guidance of elders and knowledge keepers been incorporated into the day-to-day operations on the site?
I'm going to turn that question over to the deputy, please.
I will say that it is a number one priority for us to ensure that Indigenous peoples are involved in the Big Bar remediation effort. We've made sure they're involved in the incident command room, for instance, and when the contracts were put together, it was very important for us that they be part of that. I'm going to ask our CFO, Jen Donoghue, who's been very much involved in the procurement process, to comment on some of those details.
Thank you. I think it is a very important part of the work that Kiewit is doing. We have asked them that they have a benefits plan in place. We do monitor it very closely, and if there are any concerns that come up through engagement with our First Nations communities, we make sure we are raising that. We do have weekly meetings with Kiewit, and if there are concerns, we make sure that they are dealt with as quickly as possible.
Ms. Donoghue, we want to work with you to make sure we're bringing those to your attention if we could, because there is concerns. It's also been difficult for the public to know what's going on in certain areas and rationale decisions. The department certainly has been more accessible of late. I've got to give you lots of credit on that. But there's been suggestions that an independent advisory panel that reports to the minister has been suggested as a way to provide additional public confidence in the response. This would also help have some oversight of over those contract concerns I just shared with you. Is this something that the minister would consider?
I think we've been very open and transparent about what has been happening at Big Bar since the inception. We put out weekly bulletins. We engage with stakeholders, with the communities that are in the areas to make sure that they feel that they've been well informed. I've kept in touch actually with the MP from the area to make sure that he feels that he's gotten the information he needs, as well as anyone who's reached out to us. DFO has been extremely responsive and it's in answering questions as they come forward. But Deputy, I'm not sure if there's anything else there that needs to be added.
Just simply that we do have a joint steering committee. First Nations are involved, and as was talked about earlier, we have had a very, very high level of communications activity on this file.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Johns. Your full 5 minutes.